Bills fans, what is up? Nice win. Nice win. Solid win. Foreign averaging a game every 4 days for the last, seems like forever. Um, Finally just being able to settle in for 10 days and just relax. Uh, I don't know if we needed a break just as much as them, but I'm sure they need it more than us, obviously, from just a physical standpoint. But man, what a, I mean, just a relief, just a nice, relaxing relief. Thank you. We get to sit back on Sunday, watch football stress free. We get to sit on Monday, watch stress free Thursday. That's all we asked. That's all we asked, and we got it. Um, what a weird day. First off, you get around 4 o'clock or right before 4, and Miller gets put on IR, and it's like, oh, okay. The only caveat is they start his clock today, and then it's like, well, who's going to get elevated? Who's going to take that 53rd spot? John Brown gets elevated, so Smoke got put back up for the game. For his first time back, and actually played a little bit. I'm not sure how much he played, but I saw 16 on the field. And then the ramp up period for Trey seemed like it was in full effect. He missed 2 series because he was in the blue tent with a stinger. Weird situation, not weird, but seemed like they wanted to give Kair's ankle just another full week plus. Rookie wall talk from Frazier, from McDermott. So I kind of drew the line. I was like, I think that makes sense. And Xavier Rhodes got the start over Dane, who's been, he's been targeted. We have to be honest. He's been targeted quite a bit in the last few weeks, pretty handily. And, he's held up as best he's could. But, Xavier came in, and he played, I didn't notice him, really. I didn't notice him, so that's a good thing. Having Tremaine back in the middle of the defense was huge. Sans a couple of really hard runs by Ramondre Stevenson, and obviously the one touchdown from Marcus Jones, where there was a mix-up on the left side that just Hamlin got pinned inside, and he got the corner, and nobody can make up that room. It was... it was tough, but hopefully, they'll fix that. But overall, I mean, just a nice, calm, solid win, and Belichick just pretty much waving the white flag. I felt like before they knelt down, and when he punted, I forget where they were, but they were near midfield, and it would have been a 4th and 6, a 4th and 7. And he chose to punt the ball back to the Bills. I know they picked up. I thought that was the drive that I thought that Motor picked up that one first down, ran near the sideline, and then they called it 2nd and 1. Then he gets stuffed. I was like, what the fuck? This ref crew tonight was weird. Weird calls for both teams. The Hamlin fucking ejection. It's a bang play. He leads with his shoulder. What the fuck is that guy supposed to do when he's like literally in perpetual motion trying to break up a pass? And it just they respond to the visceral reaction, the sound of the hit, the way the player falls. It's like, oh, he's defenseless. At what point is a defender defenseless? It's Jesus Christ. That was so ticky-tack. Like that's what he's designed to do. Just a lot of shitty weird plays. Well, he was in there for Dawkins. I mean, he hurt his ankle the first play of the game, so it's hard to get mad at Quisenberry, and I thought he gutted it out for the most part. I mean, he got beat by Uche on that one, but I felt maybe Josh could have chucked it. It's just taken off with it. I think he held on to it a little too long, but overall, it was And there was that one period there in the third quarter. I'm sorry, not the third. Yeah, the third quarter early, and even late in the second quarter, um, where the Bills kind of got out of their flow. And what I mean by that is they stopped running the ball a little bit there, and I didn't like that. There was that one where they had it at past midfield with like 2 minutes, under 2 minutes, and I'm like, run the ball here, run the ball, and they got stopped right before the Allen strip sack fumble, and then Falk missed the kick, and I was like, thank you, because that just reverses the double dip. Bills come out, aren't they don't take advantage of the double dip, and Patriots get the ball, kind of fuck around with a little bit, punt the ball back to the Bills, and the Bills go on a 15 play, 8-minute, 55-second touchdown drive that pretty much ended the game. That was an amazing drive, an amazing drive. It was a really nice drive. They started running the ball again, good down and distance. James Cook really had his best game as a pro, even though he seemed like the turf monster, just reached up and grabbed him a multitude of times. Diggs even commented in his press conference. He got on Cook's case a little bit, and he played with Diggs' older brother and Minnie, so he can do that. Dude, high knees, man. That kid is gonna break one. You could just see it. He's looking to break one. There was another one where it was the touchdown that Motor ended up scoring, where if he would have taken it out instead of in, he would have scored. He would have walked into the end zone. But I'm nitpicking. Josh was efficient. He had the one fumble. He had one where he threw it into tight coverage. It looked like Duggar could have came up with it, but the ball hit the deck. Again, this reffing crew, I don't know what the hell. We're back to the point. What is a catch? I mean, just because the ball moves a little bit, because Poyer's going to the ground, and he how did survive the ground? He's just changing hands because he's running out of bounds. That's a pick going back the other way. And the Bills, thankfully, that's when they got the ball back and went on that long touchdown drive. So it kind of evened out there because they were able to just bleed way more time off the clock. Let me read some of your comments, guys. Thanks for coming in the room. It's late. It's 1:30 here on the East Coast. Yeah, that was the first pass, Al, that we've seen Allen just uncork it. Like Allen running to his right, just letting it fly. I think it was like a 60-yard pass. It didn't end up being a touchdown because of the Sweeney hold. But, I felt, that was 50-50. Did he egregiously hold him? He kind of spun him. Again, this crew was trash. But I feel like I come in here and save that every week. Yeah, that was the weird thing is the Vaughn news on the heels of him saying last night he would be back for the Jets or try to be, and maybe that's a move to kind of protect him from himself. Just like, dude, we have you for the stretch. We have you for the long haul. Back off of it. I mean, he's going to contractually be in Buffalo next year. So just, chill out on that thing. You're an older player. We have young horses. Sit down, relax for, now 3 weeks. Just ease up on it. You don't want him chasing around, Justin Fields. You feel like tonight he could have got a few sacks on him. On Jones, the way he was, he was just begging to be sacked back there. And thankfully, Epinesa ran right into him. Epinesa had a nice pass rush move there. So he helped create that as well. So let me read some of your comments, guys. Yeah, I just like the run game tonight. I really did. I really liked the way the run game was worked in. I mean, Singletary didn't have a flashy night, but he had just a solid night. Running between the tackles, he ran hard. He ran physical. Cook was really, really solid. Again, he ran physical when he had to. I feel like he was, there could have been 100-yard game in there if he would have just, again, not slipped, or I think he's just so amped up. He sees so much daylight ahead of him. He just kind of goes so fast. His feet leave him, but I think he had 6 catches for 40 yards. It was 105 yards of all-purpose yards. So Nice day for him. Nice day for him. I mean, sans the slipping and stuff, and he's a rookie. He's probably juiced through the gills. He's playing on another nationally televised game. It is the NFL, bigger stage, bigger. It doesn't get any bigger than Georgia, Alabama, but you're on the field with pros. You're still on the field with better pros than you are with college players, and the kid's he's gonna be good. He's definitely gonna be good. And I just want to see him. You saw him really get a lot of burn tonight. You saw the coaches really left him out there, and I like that. It wasn't much else coming from. I know McKenzie had a few catches mixed in there, a few nice ones, but it seemed like a lot of run blocking responsibility for the wide receivers. Taking guys downfield, trying to open up space in zones. Knox stayed in to block a lot tonight. He was open a few times on the Diggs touchdown. If you go back and watch it, Knox is open on the other side of the field. It was just Allen was like, I'm throwing this ball to Diggs for a touchdown, and he did. But Knox beat his guy clean. He was open. So let me read some of your comments, guys. Yeah, bro, Trevor, I said it. There was like a couple of times. There was the Ramondre Stevenson, and then there was the kickoff. I forget it was the punt or the kickoff where it's like, man, can the Bills just? Was it a catch? I forget which one it was. It was a couple of times. It was the ball was on the deck and the Patriots just were right there. And I'm like, you pounce on that ball. Come on. You just take the air out of that place quick. We take the air out of the place quick. But after the punt, if you were watching if I don't know if you guys were watching on your TV or you did the Amazon to my TV account or you just stayed watching on your, device or laptop or whatever. After that punt, they did a drew back view of a lot of the Patriot fans were leaving. After that punt, forget about the one drive. It just sucked the life out of the game for them. They got the ball back with like 7 minutes, and that was the one where Hamlin got ejected. They just dinking and dunking. They didn't run, but there wasn't a lot of action downfield. They got lucky on a few calls. I feel like they got lucky on the Hamlin because I feel like it was a bang play. There's nothing the guy could have done different. But the beautiful part about this is 10 days to just 10 to 11 days, if you want to call it that. 10 days, 2 home games. You're not getting on a plane. You're not staying in a hotel. You're just in your element, in your environment for the better part of 3 weeks now. And this is the season. These next 2 weeks to me is the season. This is the season. They needed to take care of business tonight and get this 10 to 11 day window to just refresh, reset everything after this last stretch, whether it was the weather, the travel, the relocated game, losing to Minnesota in such a crazy and insane way, because then this whole thing tastes different if they had won that game. But, things happen with, what they happen. So we'll see. Let me get to hear some of your comments, guys. And I think he's already committed to us, probably already knows the playbook. John Brown is going to get his use in the offense. Crazy Killer, how much of a playbook can be learned in a little of time? He'd be with a team really. Last year, it's now going on week 12. Well, he has a torn ACL, so, he had to rehab that. So, and when you're signing a guy like that, you're really doing it for the playoffs. You're not doing it you're doing it for a few key games coming up, but at the end of the day, you're doing it for the second season. You're not doing it for, he's only signing with who he's signing with because they're going to the playoffs. We'll see. They have a roster spot open. There's 52 roster spots now. So we'll see where it goes. He's coming to Buffalo tomorrow. He was here in New York today, apparently. North New Jersey, I'm sorry. He was right here in East Rutherford. So we'll see where he ends up. Do I think we need him? if Bean and the organization is bringing him in, that should tell us what we need to know. If they feel like they're going to bring him into their facility, they feel like he could be a piece. I mean, a piece, a component, something. You know, 20 good plays a game. We're not talking about a guy who needs to carry the offense, but a guy who can facilitate 15 to 20 good plays a game. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, more weapons, the better, right? But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not sitting here pounding the table for him. I don't think Gabe's plays declined. I mean, he's caught more passes than he's ever in a regular season. People forget. I mean, his regular season production, 30, low 30 catches, high yards per catch. He's tied his career touchdowns with 6 for the regular season. There's 5 games left. He's 23 years old. I know, everybody thought the moon, the stars, and the sun. Everybody felt maybe Emmanuel Sanders was holding him back, and stuff. But no, it was, he's still a young player and he's still developing. So it's not the same thing, man. It's not everybody. Look at Cook. Cook's role has changed. We were mad that he wasn't getting burned. Now lately he's getting burned. Last week he didn't hold on to a few balls and the team rode with Singletary a little more. Last week, when they needed a money down throw, they went to Knox. Tonight they don't go to Knox. Knox stayed in block a little bit. Knox, was not a part of it. So every week it changes. Every week. I feel like the game was balanced, and I feel like they should have run the ball more, Chris. There was that time where they went on that little, not somewhat little to me, but they got the ball back. After they scored their second touchdown, 17-10, it was 17-7. They 3-and-out the Patriots. The stadium's booing. Bills get the ball back. And I was like, put a drive together here. Put a drive together here. Now you can, really put your stake in your heart. They go 3-and-out. They get the ball back again. They're driving a little bit, get on the other side of midfield. And I was like, yeah, just force them not to use their timeouts. Make them do something, run the ball. Just don't let them get a chance to do anything with any clock. And if you go down there and score a touchdown and you're getting the ball out of half, this game is over. But, forget the play that they ran. It didn't end up getting much, but I was just mad. I wanted to see him just hand it to Cook, hand it to Singletary, moves the clock, makes them have to think. But when they went on that 90+ yard drive, that was a really nice drive. So, I mean, I can't complain. That was a money drive. That was a gotta have it drive, and they finished it off. Like, they just seemed like 11 guys. They knew where they were going to end that drive, and it was in the end zone. And you saw the Patriots' body language after that was just done. The defense, the sideline, even Belichick, they were for shit after that. Yeah, man. 9 wins, and I'll say it. I'll repeat it. I'll repeat it again and again and again. You look back. Where was it this time? I have to see it because it's hard to believe. But what I'm saying is they didn't get their 9th win till week 16 last year in New England. That was their 9th win. So their 9th win this year came 4 weeks earlier, which is saying something. Or I'm sorry, 3 weeks earlier. They were, again, at that point when they go into New England, they were 8-6. They leave there tonight 9-3 this season, and it doesn't seem like people weren't. I don't remember this much panic last year from outsiders. Not so much people in this room, but they were 7-6. At one point last year. And they went into New England after that Panthers game, 9-6, 8-6, and they won, and that springboarded them pretty well. But I just think that fans, some fans, not you guys so much, but I just some of the talk I hear, it's like they were 7-6 last year. Let's not forget that. Edmonds was great. Eric Edmonds, there was a few downhill plays that he made. There was one on Stevenson in particular where he read it, met him, and just it was a really nice tackle. And he had made a play previously to that too. I think it was in the pass game. I'm not sure, but it was also another nice play. You can definitely see the difference with him in there. I mean, Mac Jones was pedestrian, but this is a guy throwing for 300 yards and had a nice game against the Jets. He threw for 250. They didn't score. They missed a few field goals. They had a few miscues in the red zone, but he was efficient. But be that as it may, they really held him down. And having Trey out there definitely, I know it was this true first game back where he played a lot of snaps. I mean, most of the game, and he played pretty well. Like he didn't shy away from contact. He broke up a few passes, so he was nice. Oh, there'll be something, Doug. Trust me. I've seen a few things. I've seen just they're not high octane enough for certain people. They're not high octane enough. I think it was the rookie wall comments. If you go back and listen to Frazier and McDermott at one point during the week, Frazier, I know definitely it was on was it Sunday or Monday, because they had all the press conferences on, which is weird, because they played Thursday to Thursday, 12 3 games in 12 days away. Crazy. Yeah, Dorsey was good tonight. I felt like he should have ran the ball more, to be honest with you, Crazy. I really do. I didn't want them to but when going back to Elam, digress back to Elam, I think, with the ankle, they wanted to be like, you know what, we want you 100%. You're playing more football than you ever. I mean, it wasn't like Florida was going to bowls either. So it's like you're playing more football than you ever have in your life. We want you on the field, but we want you firing on all cylinders. And then Ruseo was talking about the rookie wall. I forget when it was. I think it was at some point early in the season. And he talked about it, and he said he felt like crap at the end of the year. Like he said, I was just a shell of myself because I had never played so much football in my life. And remember, he had taken the year off before that because of C-19. He didn't play. Let me read some of your comments, guys. And they got a long look at Rhodes tonight too. Elam will be back out there. I'm not worried about him. That was funny, Matt. Jones losing his mind. It's just good to see them just be another team. That's what it is. It's just good seeing them to be another team. Yeah, one of the narratives after the game, I don't know if you guys sat down and watched the whole post game on Amazon, but some of the interactions Fitz and Allen were having were great. And there's Tony Gonzalez, who's obviously going to be a KC guy. Okay. He didn't mention anything about that, but he was talking about Allen running. And I'm like, how come Allen running is always an issue? But everybody else that runs, like Lamar and, Kyler and who's always hurt. Kyler always misses games, and he plays like shit. And he's a petulant little midget. But I think, didn't Lamar Jackson leave practice with a quad injury today? It's only an issue when Allen runs. But all those other guys, it's like, oh my God, it's just oh my God. It's like, it's so great. But Allen runs is like, oh, I don't know. 2 times Allen's been injured. I know he got the one hit, but he didn't miss a game. But the one time he did miss time, and the other time he came close to missing time, was in the pocket. Yeah, Josh wearing the 14 jersey was a real nice touch. Like, and I think like he knows what it means, having him. Yeah, Ruseo was nice today. He had the one tip, his length. Stevenson catches that ball. He's a big physical runner. That was nice to see, though, on that one drive. They were getting hit by Stevenson a little bit hard. There was one where it was just like he looked like he carried half the Bills defense. They eventually got him down, and I think it was on the very next play they got a holding call, and that pushed them back, threw their whole drive out of whack. They punted to the Bills, and the Bills, it was 10-7 at that point. The Bills went down there and scored and never looked back. So that was a big moment in the game. That was a really big situation. There was so many times though I felt like they had Mac Jones dead to rights, but he's a slippery son of a bitch back there. He for the guy who doesn't have much mobility, he's the one where he was going to get sacked and he just dirted the ball. It was intentional grounding, loss of down. That pissed me off because on the preceding play, it was, and I know the Bills scored a touchdown on that, but still, it's like you punt the ball, you should be getting the ball like at midfield. Badgley should be punting out of his own end zone, and they let up it was a pretty long run to Stevenson. But he was 1 yard away, and from the first down, I feel like if that would have been Dan Campbell last week, they might have gone for it. But we'll see, man. Well, you know what? A lot of games, there's a lot to be decided. Injuries happen, things happen. I'm not rooting for those, but we'll see. Lawson just is happy being a Bill. You can see it. You can see it when he interviews. You can see it with the way he plays. You could see it with Jordan Phillips. I think that the 10 days off, you're going to see a refreshed team, a fast team. This is really going to do them some good. Like, I feel like this is coming at a perfect time, and to come out of this, 3 wins in this crazy stretch that they've had has been awesome. You get battle tested, you build up some scar tissue as a team with shit like this. And, like Josh said, I don't know if you guys had seen made the rounds and seen the interview, the locker room thing that they put out. He's just like, the most important thing stays the most important thing. Take care of yourselves, be safe. He gave the team 3 days off. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we'll see, man. I mean, they just got to win, bro. I don't want to say it's necessarily payback, but just go win those games. Allen said it on the broadcast. He's like, we're just here to get wins. People, because there is the noise about style points and blowing teams out. It's like if they blow these teams out, they only win blowouts. But if they don't blow teams out enough, it's not impressive enough. But if they win 1-score games, it's like, well, they almost got beat by this team. Well, they won 1-score games against, I don't think the Browns counts really, but it could have, that whole crazy onside kick situation. But, Detroit, the Ravens, and KC. So it's like you can't win for losing. Somebody's always going to have some spin doctor headline that they're going to put out there and use to like, hey, look at this, look at that. I know the thing today was going around was the Greg Cosell thing with Allen is special. They got one talented receiver and just a bunch of guys. Well, he's got a cushy gig. He can say that kind of stuff. He's got some gravitas, and I don't care what he says. I don't care what a lot of these guys say. And I saw Nick Wright, I saw somebody reposted it like with Allen and the Mills kid, Davis Mills, numbers side by side. Well, one quarterback is what? 3-1. The other got benched and lost his job. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like clowns. Like these dudes just have like semi-charmed lives. They're actors. Again, they're all actors. Yeah, they ran the ball well tonight. They really ran the ball well tonight. And if you look at numbers, for all the, he's an old dude who sits and watches. He should know something. I mean, I hope all of us, we sit around and watch football religiously. I'm not saying he knows more than us necessarily, but I feel like we also, again, he's a guy who gets in front of the camera. So I just wanted to look at this side by side really quick because I felt like, for all the plugging that Pacheco gets, I feel like James Cook has had. Yeah, James Cook hadn't had as many carries, and he's got just a few less yards, has a better yards per carry, has a touchdown. He's got more receptions. So, and Pacheco gets a lot of love. A lot of love. You would think that guy is like a premier back in the league with as much love as he gets on Twitter. Yeah, that's like the loss. That's like to me, I call the Chiefs loss the lost loss. The lost lost. Like, they don't talk about that. It's like I see the occasional person mention it, but nobody with any like so-called clout. Like, nobody mentions like, yeah, that Colts team that we watched on Thursday, was it? No, I'm not sorry. It was Monday. My days are all mixed up. The Bills, I mean, I can't believe I'm doing another one on Thursday. Last week I was doing this right after Thanksgiving dinner, which I can barely digest. But yeah, that same Colts team that we watched against Pittsburgh, it was terrible. Beat the Chiefs. So again, it can happen. It can happen. So I know you guys all of us are gonna have a nice, relaxing Sunday, just watching football. I want to take a look at the quick schedule really quick. There's a lot of 1:00 games. Bills took care of business, 9-3. That's what we wanted. Obviously, looked like they came out pretty clean on injuries. I know Quisenberry, who really grounded out tonight. I mean, he had a hard task. Judon Uche caught him a couple of times. I think Uche caught him on the one, definitely. But I know Uche looped in and got Allen, trying to scramble out, and it was called a sack when he drug him down. It was counted as a sack. So yeah, there was a lot of 1:00 games. You got Deshaun Watson's return to the league. Minnesota, the Jets, that's going to be a big game, for us to pay attention to. You got even Tennessee, Philly, that switches, that no matter what, you want the Bills to play a home game in the playoffs. And then obviously at 4, San Francisco, Miami, and then Miami staying out on the West Coast 2 straight weeks, then coming to Buffalo. That's huge. And then 425, you have, I think it's a doubleheader. I think it's the Fox CBS doubleheader. You have the Bengals and KC, so that sets up like a nice little Sunday to relax and watch football. And I have no clue. I don't know if you guys feel you have to feel this way. I have no clue how Dallas. I guess because it's Sunday, it's prime time. It's Dallas. I don't know how Dallas and Colts got kept in that window. I have no idea how they didn't get flexed out of it. Maybe they couldn't, but I have no idea how they stayed in it. Yeah, I mean, he worked for the paper out there. He was born out there. So that's what I mean, Eric. It's like a lot of like all these guys, it's like a fair swath of them are just, fanboys, homers. It's like, that's why I'd rather do this. I'm like, if I want to talk to fans, I'll come talk to fans, like a fan like myself. I don't want to listen to so-called, like these people are clowns, most of them. I wish it was more, Doug. I wish they would have ran the ball more. I felt like there was more to be had there. But you know what? It was good. Allen didn't run much. I think he had one, decent scramble, but that was it. Didn't do a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah, that's a nice little window to watch. So we're going to be doing a lot of flicking back and forth, or just, 1-1. I know that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, me either. Crazy. I can't. I mean, they're just, if they do anything that's just regular, it always gets blown up. It's like they struggled with a very beat up Giants team after the Bills played on Sunday. Very beat up, missing 3 offensive linemen, no receivers really to speak of. And they their hands full with the Giants. The Giants gave them a game. If the Giants are healthy, they might win that game. They had a touchdown called back, but you know what? The Cowboys, they can just they there's always like the Cowboy apologist. I think you have the one clown. I always forget his name. He's so forgettable. The idiot that sits across from Shannon Sharp, who just just Cowboy. It was like, if you listen to the telecast tonight, it was Michaels and Herb Street. Man, it was a Bill Belichick suckfest for the whole first half. It was like Belichick can scheme things up. He's just a savant. He's a this, he's a that. I'm like, he's not playing. Like, look at his record against Allen. He's a savant when he has 70-mile-an-hour winds. And it's, that's when he's a savant and he wins a game by 4 points. Yeah, skip shitless. The terrible. I don't know, crazy. You never know, man. You never know when they get into a game where they have to throw. And they have good receivers. They definitely need Goddard healthy. They definitely need him healthy. So, and I know people were saying, homeboy, Greg Cosell was a big, he knows his stuff and whatever. But I kind of like I don't mind him so much. Again, he's an old guy. He's living the life. God bless him. But I remember what a big Chip Kelly fan he was, and he defended Chip Kelly to the end. And he said, "Well, Chip Kelly, this, and this, but Chip Kelly at its apex, you're supposed to win 38-35. That's the way it is, because he wants to go back and forth with you. If you can't keep up, or if he can't keep up, so be it. But that's the way it is." And I was just kind of like, I don't know what the shelf life of that is. Because you know what happens is, like, you go into dry spells on offense. Like, you have to find other solutions. Like, your defense has to step up. You got to get a play on special teams, or play good special teams. You got to be able to just flip a field. Sometimes you just need a first down. How many times are we sitting here watching games? Just give me a first down. That's it. We'll worry about the rest later. You just need a first down. Oh yeah, so you definitely got that Sung Sub on the must-read list. I don't know. I don't think it was that, but the journey to every 10,000, miles is a first step, or some shit. I forget whose quote that was. Oh, he's nestled up in Buffalo. That's why. You don't get a lot of attention nationally by going on Bills radio. You don't get a lot of attention by going there. You get a lot of attention by coming to New York or Dallas or LA, or if Chicago happened to be good, or owners that have big say behind the scenes. Just me, a first down was all I used to say before we had a QB. Yeah, but there's just times in games, Hussein, where that's what's needed. Every drive, it's like, hey, let's get a first down. Let's cut the field in half. You flip the field. Now let's start, thinking about points here. Let's go. That's kind of still the way I keep it in my head. Like, just to I want every drive to end in 6 and 7. But there's like little checklists. It's like, get the first down, cut the field in half, explosive play, flip the field, and then start pushing for points here. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about those days, man. Don't even want to talk about those days. Let me read some of your comments, guys. Yeah, I'm shocked they kept that game in primetime, man. I'm shocked, because you got the Colts going in like after Monday, like on Sunday night. It's just, and you never know. I mean, Dallas a weird team. They lose games against weird teams. What's up, Jake? How you doing, bro? Feeling? You're lucky. You got 3 hours on me, man. You're 11 o'clock West Coast time, Pacific. I'm 2 a.m., but I'm all good. Oh God, it was crazy because he brought them back in that game too. And I remember the one crazy play where it wasn't even EJ's fault. It was hits he hits a McCoy on a screen. McCoy looks like he's going to go score a touchdown and gets hit and fumbles right inside the 5. It was just a perfect storm. That was the bullshit pass interference on Nicole Roby-Coleman. That just terrible play. That game was just awful. You know what that Colts game, though, reminded me of? It reminded me of tonight. It reminded me a lot of what we saw from the Patriots offense. I mean, it was nice watching them struggle. It was beautiful. I loved watching their fans get up and leave after they chose to punt. I loved listening to, like, you know, them look frustrated and seeing their post game where it's like they're looking up at everybody else in the division and being in the cellar. I love it. Well, the Broncos did. It's time for the Colts to. Jesus Christ. And these quarterback trades, these big QB trades, those are 2 examples. All these trades, they don't work out. I mean, Russell looks like I know we're going off the Bills a little bit here. Russell looks like a shell. Matt, I mean, I don't know how. I look at the 3 QB trades, and I heard these coaches talk about how they watch tape and they this, and this, and I really question, because we saw Matt Ryan last year in Buffalo and kind of seen the way their team went. You know, prior to that, at what point did you think that guy's trajectory was anything but this? Like Frank Reich, you know, a guy we all love, hold near and dear, you know, standing at the lectern saying, yeah, we watched every throw, we watched all this, and we felt like, you know, we could support him. And I'm like, dude, that guy was on the decline. That guy's arm looked shop worn last year. I know you're bringing him indoors and you think you got this tank. Well, they do have a tank at running back, we well know, but I don't know. And then they ship Wentz to Washington. Rivera says the same thing. Watch that team play with Wentz under center and watch them play with Heineke under center. I'm not saying Heineke's great, but Heineke's got a lot of fucking juice. That kid plays with a lot of juice, and that team just responds to him. They don't respond to Wentz. They don't play fast with Wentz. They don't look like they play with a lot of motion. They like that other kid. Then you look at Russell Wilson. So you got to like your quarterback. And I remember hearing about, you know, Matt Ryan, that, you know, some of there was murmurings that he's like kind of a grumpy old dude. I'm here to win. I'm not here to make friends. Motherfucker, you got 10 other dudes that got to protect your ass and do shit for you, and other guys on the bench that got to come in and do it too. People better like you. So, I mean, that mercenary stuff don't always work out so well. He reminds you of Fitz. Oh, yeah. I mean, he has the same, you know, I don't think he gunslings as much, but similar scrappy style story type of dude. Yeah. It's okay, crazy. Get some sleep, man. My crazy ass, I don't give a shit. I'll go do what I got to do, but it is what it is, man. We got one life. I'm going to enjoy this to the end. Yeah, so, you know, I mean, Hackett. Think about Nate Hackett as the Bills offensive coordinator, but which he was, and we saw what was with that. It's all good, man. Do your thing. But, you know, I appreciate everybody who's in the room tonight. You know, I know some people pop in and out, but, you know, it's the hour. Crazy schedule. I mean, it seemed like the season's gone by so fast. It just seems like I did the opener video, and now here we are, and we're 12 games in, and, you know, week 13. Holy shit. It's crazy. It's literally crazy how fast it's gone. But, you know, and especially these last, like I've said, you know, sound like a broken record, these last 3 to 4 games with, you know, 2 shitty losses, 1 really crazy fucking loss, Josh's elbow, dovetailing into the weather, to the, just losing, against Minnesota in such an insane way, to, everything we know in all the situations in these last 3 games, whether it was in game, off the field, Vaughn's injury. I mean, it's been crazy. It really has. This last 6 weeks has been insane. Yeah, just keep winning. Crazy. That's it. Just keep winning, man. Appreciate you, man. 100. Read some of your comments, guys. If you guys want to jump off here, I'll stand another 10. I don't take it personal. You guys got lives. I know Hussein's got to get to bed. He's out here on my timeline. I know few young fathers in here that got little babies that, got to pull all night duty maybe sometimes. But that shit happens. Got some West Coasters in here that are lucky. But it's all good. One very, very positive thing. I don't think there was a lot of, I didn't see any injuries tonight. I'm not saying there is or isn't. Because Benford came out of last week's game and then he got put on IR with an oblique. And I was like, where did that happen in the game? I mean, he was in on the last play of the game, on the onside kick when they, I'm sorry, not the onside kick, when they tried doing that like home run throwback shit on the kickoff. But I didn't see, where he had gotten injured. But then again, there's a lot of shit we don't see on the broadcast. So, from what I seen, I know after that crazy run around, Jordan Phillips went off the field. I know Knox went off, but he came back in. We saw him back in the game. And Quisenberry, I don't know what happened to his ankle, like on the first offensive play. And we already had Deion Dawkins out for the ankle. And then, that's the beautiful part about a win like this is you've got guys on the shelf and you're still able to win. You got guys a little nicked up and you're still able to get a good win. That's the best part. Yeah, 6 TDs makes, he's a young player. His past production, his past 2 years, it's been about the same, 30 catches, now he's mid-30s. He's got 5 games left. He's, he is 20. He's not even 24 yet. He's been in Buffalo 3 years, but, he's played a lot of football for the Bills, and it seems like he's older, but he's not. He does have an older face, though. But he's a 23-year-old. So, he's got a lot of, like a Diggs is 29. Like the shit you learn, the game slows down even more for you. So we'll see, man. Win feels, yep. Yeah, I felt, they were finding that a little bit. There was a point in the Minnesota game where I felt like if they would have played that Minnesota game, the second half, the way they had played this game, where, they don't get burned by that long touchdown. They go into the fourth quarter, 24-10. And, you make Minnesota have to drive the field, not, nothing cheap, nothing deep, just chew up time. And, you run the football, you just eat up the clock. As you notice on that one drive, the Bills, they had every intention on going into the fourth quarter with the football. They were not snapping the ball with under 5 seconds every time. And I was like, that's smart. That's smart. You got the ball, that you're just making them stand there and wait. That psychologically wears on you over time. And with TV timeouts and commercials and, same thing, whatever, injury timeouts, just little breaks in play, that drive was longer than 9 minutes. It ended up being like a total like 15, 16 minutes. The Pats defense was on the field and I was like, that's it. They're done. And I was like, you stick this ball in the end zone here, they are toast. And they were. I think it's possible. I just hope it's a Sunday flex and not a Saturday flex. And I hope the weather is cold as fuck. That's what I hope. I hope the weather is cold as shit. And you can have snow that day and everything. You could have all that shit. Not a lot of snow, just enough, just a little bit. I hope our offense isn't tired. Nah, man, I felt like that the offense is fine. If you have the hammer, it's different. It's a different feel. But like our defense was good. Like you saw, they were just kind of exchanging yards for time in that one drive where the Pats chose to kick a field goal, and it was weird. It's like you choose to kick a field goal there. Yeah, I get it. You have no chance of scoring a touchdown from all the way back there, but then you kind of pin the whole game hopes on an onside kick. Don't recover the onside kick, and the Bills are like, okay, we're just going to kneel down here, and they're like, all right, and they sit on all 3 timeouts and just say, fuck it, we're gonna take this L. We're just gonna take the L. Like, fine with me. I felt like they threw in the white flag, like I said, when they punted where they punted at that point in the game. They were down 3 scores. But Sun Tzu, what a bunch of joke, man. Oh, we'll see. We'll see him next week. We'll see him next week. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here. 50 minutes. I kind of talking in circles right now. Really, really good win. Division win. Much needed. First one of the year. It's crazy. December 2nd. Well, December 1st. And you're playing your 3rd division game. Maybe that's the way the league wants it. Just have all these games at the back end. But, you think you might have had another one in there at some point. But first time they play the Patriots, they beat the Patriots away, and then this is the season, this is the division. If they can run off the rest of the way, I feel like at some point KC could slip, and then you can recapture the 1 seed. And if you recapture the 1 seed, and you're sitting at home with the bye week, and you can, at that point, if they're able to do that. Let's just say if you're going into week 18 and they're 13-3, looking at the Patriots who are playing, they got the flip-flops on, right? Let's just say they're out of it. You need that game or maybe they don't. Who knows? There's so much that can happen in 5 games, right? But still, let's just say you need it. You go in with that game and you get that extra week, and you can get Vaughn back with like basically 2 months of healing. That's wow. And sore bodies, a bit of an older team. That'll be huge, man. Yeah, they need that, Doug. I feel like that Minnesota game, if they can just execute a snap to QB sneak at that one point, few other crazy things, knock a ball out on a long 4th down, we're looking at a 4-game winning streak, crazy set of circumstances. It feels different, but maybe they needed all that crazy shit to happen, and they've weathered it. They came through it. They didn't, there's no quitting this team. That's for sure. There's no quitting them. When they lose, they don't lose by much. Still only 8 points. And the defense had a nice bounce back game tonight. A nice bounce back game. The defense, NFL pros they're gonna make plays. Stevenson made a few plays tonight, but outside of that, they held it down pretty damn well tonight. So my hat's off to them. People say injuries. Bills got injuries. Bills have had injuries all year on defense, a few on offense, particularly the offensive line, but all over every level of defense has been hit by injury. Whether there was the defensive end group recently, it was the defensive tackle group early in the year. They lost Miller, they lost Oliver week 1. He missed like 3 games. Phillips got injured week 2 on the Milano INT return for a touchdown. Fucking, Edmonds missed a game. Milano missed a game. Well, Edmonds missed like 3 games. Milano missed 1. He missed the Jets game, that's for sure. We've had Dane's missed games, just Elam, Poyer, Hyde. So, dude, again, like, don't anybody let the Bills have not had a semi-charmed life here this season. They've really earned it. Like I said last year, they rolled pretty healthy. Sans Trey at Sans Trey on Thanksgiving, they were healthy for the from 1 to 53. They were pretty damn healthy. 7-6, 9-3. You take your pick. I mean, we'll see, man. Yeah, you did, Doug. Yes, you did. I think, man, that would be if they go to the Super Bowl. And it would just be like he's in uniform, but he would play like what? He would come in if they were winning just to just be on the field. You know what I mean? Like that. I just wouldn't want to take a chance with that. You know what I mean? I would get it, but you just want to be a little careful. Those things, man, are tricky. But all right, guys, peace. Go Bills. Love y'all. Really nice 10 days we're looking at. Nice 10 days. Nice and comfortable. Really, really relaxing football Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Peace. Go Bills. I'm going to be up in a few hours. A little bit of work. Watch some World Cup. Go Bills. Rainius. Treat time.